You know what I could really go for right now?
What?
Some bell peppers and beef.
Oh my god, why do you have to tell that to me when I'm hungry?
Three, two, one, let's jam.
Yeah! We we just had to start off.
Want bell peppers and beef.
I mean, of course, but we just had to start off with the Yoko Kanno intro, right?
Uh-huh. I've had that stuck in my head for like a week, and it's really annoying because there's no words. I've just been like walking around in my apartment, going. I think it's time we blow this scene.
Get
everybody in their stuff together. Okay, three, two, one, let's jam.
Okay, I think. Yes. Oh, Tank, one of the greatest anime openings of all time.
I love it. Oh man.
Oh,
yeah.
this is gonna be a fun episode. Anyway, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, all you wonderful listeners out there? Welcome back to another episode of the General Geekery podcast.
Woo! I'm sure people are wondering what the hell we're going to be talking about, or maybe they already know and they're flipping out.
That's true. Anyway, as always, this is the podcast where we love to geek out about all that we love to geek out about with no remorse, no regrets, and with all of the enthusiasm in the world. As always,
Indeed.
as always, we are your humble, generous, and over-the-top hosts. I am Donald Kaczynski, your resident coffee ninja by day, actor, gamer, and streamer by night. And joining me as always, she is the dice slinger extraordinaire, the magnificent artiste. She is the one and only Hannah Kubiak.
Hello.
And
it's me.
Yes. And welcome back to our third edition of Anime April 2021. For those that have not seen our previous episodes on Anime April 2021, please go check them out. We talked about the Garden of Sinners movie series and the 2012-2013 anime series from the New World with Andrew Kelly that we had for that. Thank you, Andrew, for joining us for that. Today's topic, Hannah picked out, and oh man, she picked a good one.
Oh yeah.
Hannah, would you so kindly introduce today's show?
Yes, we are going to be talking about the 1998-1999 series Cowboy Bebop.
Yes!
It actually, when I picked this, I'd actually never seen it, but I'd heard that I had been wanting to.
Oh my god, this is quoted by many fans of anime, critics, and even general audiences alike as possibly one of the greatest animated series of all time. Not only just anime, but just animation in general.
Mm-hmm.
In doing my research for all of this, I know the show inside and out because I've seen it numerous amounts of times.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking for a bunch of different stuff aside from that, but I could talk a little bit about the initial airing history. If
yeah, go ahead, because I never have any information about that, honestly. I'm always just kind of like, let's talk about the themes and the art and the character arcs.
Oh yeah.
I don't care what year they made this in.
Well, the year for this one actually kind of has an interesting history about that because it actually plays into a part of how it became so widely known. So the series was originally produced in 1998 and released in Japan by animation director Shinichiro Watanabe, who has made many other different great anime series, including but not limited to Samurai Champloo, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, Carol and Tuesday.
Okay.
Both great shows on their own, but this is considered by many to probably be his best work. Oh my god.
It's so good. I loved it.
The series would eventually get a release in America sometime in the near future. It was in 2001 on Cartoon Network's Adult Swim lineup that Cowboy Bebop first premiered on American television. It was actually the first anime series that was be run on the Adult Swim lineup.
Nice.
And then it would be added back onto the lineup a couple of years later and would rerun constantly on syndication on Adult Swim for damn near a decade.
Dude.
Honestly, the animes that were always on Adult Swim that kept rerunning all the time were Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, and oddly enough, Inuyasha were like three of the big ones.
Okay.
for our anime listeners, if you all watched Adult Swim like during this timeline, you will all know what I'm talking about. It was a void that needed to be filled after Toonami got canceled by Cartoon Network. I still have not forgiven them for that, but it's back now, and I'm okay. But Cowboy Bebop, oh my god, it's a special spark that is unlike almost any other anime series that I can compare it to. Because it's such a unique oddity, like in terms of themes, music, animation, and so many other wonderful things involved in it, that it's a temple. It is a templed entry in animation for anime.
I wouldn't go that far. I'd say that it's a beloved dive bar at best.
Given the universe, yeah, that would actually make more sense. So, that's my reaction after seeing it like numerous amounts of times. Like, even though I've seen it so many times, I never get tired of watching it. It's just so good. And you said you went through it for the very first time in the lead up to this.
Yes.
So
I chose it because I'd wanted to see it for a long time, and I just hadn't. I needed an excuse to watch something that I had been wanting to watch.
First of all, excellent choice. Very excellent choice.
Thank you.
And second of all, what did you think?
It was amazing. It checked so many boxes for me. Like cowboy in space thing.
Oh yeah.
It had this whole Firefly Mandalorian vibe going with it. I think also like Supernatural has kind of the same vibe where it's like moving from place to place, doing like these jobs, like a traveling freelancer doing weird stuff. You know, I just love it. Those kind of things. I think because I'm a freelancer at heart. I'm like, I don't want to have an actual job. I want to be self-employed and just do what I want to do and be free, you know, and like give me that horizon, you know.
Yeah.
I want to build a little house on wheels so I can go wherever I want and call it home. Like
Oh yeah, absolutely. So where do you want to talk about first with this show?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I mean, I was just okay. First 4 episodes, I was just along for the ride, having tons of fun, laughing my head off. Then all of a sudden, episode 5, Ballad of Fallen Angels hits. I'm like, damn, things are serious all of a sudden. And I'm like, okay.
A masterpiece episode. A masterpiece.
I'm like, okay. And then after that point, I was like, you know, like I enjoyed the character of Spike, like all the way through.
Oh yeah.
I love that kind of like weird, goofy, cocky, swaggering, like quick talking, lanky, dark-haired dude. If that can be a category, I love it. All of it. But after this episode, and I was like, oh my gosh, he has ties to the mob. What a sick backstory. And I became like obsessed with this character. Like, so awesome. I was like, what's going to happen with the mob and everything? And like, I love how he has this like terrible past, and he obviously has like this rage about it and stuff, but he's also got just this fun loving personality, and he's a goofball and stuff. Like there's like the what is it where the whole episode is this like creature that gets loose in the ship and is biting everybody and giving them this disease, and then he realizes that it came from this Ganymede lobster that he left in the fridge for a year and forgot about.
Yeah.
And like as they're all floating in nil gravity after he's like been trying to kill this thing and it bit him, and he's like, I've got the bug now, and he's like floating there in space. It's like, and that's the lesson. Don't leave things in the fridge.
do, 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 do,
like, oh my gosh.
do.
And just the whole thing where it's like, oh my gosh, I figured out it came from the fridge. And then basically he's like, well, that's it. Throwing this fridge out the airlock, burn it, kill it with fire.
Yep.
And also, yeah, what was it? The little creature or whatever. Like it was against this door. And he like got out a flamethrower and just like torched it completely for like 30 seconds.
And then a little bit of it got out, escaped at the end, and then it got freaking devoured by a hallucinating Edward.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was ridiculous. But yeah, okay, I loved that these people had like dark pasts that they were like running away from and trying to escape, but then they also had like a humor about them, and they weren't like just all dark and brooding, my past with the mob or whatever. It was like, I have a past with the mob, but I just stuff that stuff down really good, like deep in my soul, and I mask it with humor, and that's how I get through my life. And I'm like, I understand that. I understand that so much.
So since we're on the topic
that's
of
what
like
my dad taught me to do before he left forever.
Oof. So since we're on the topic of like all of them, we really should like focus like on the characters, because like because we have to talk about the Bebop crew. So the majority of the entire series is centered around the crew of the spaceship Bebop. It's a bounty hunter crew that it initially started with just 2 people, but eventually grew to 4 humans and a super dog named Ein. We love Ein. That is a good doggo. That is a good boy.
Good boy.
That's basically Ein is the reason why many anime fans love corgis.
Really? Oh, okay.
Almost everyone that I've talked to will actually admit to that, like legitimately.
Oh wow. I'll have to ask my mom if a corgi is actually a good dog breed to have.
Good doggo.
She would tell you.
So anyway, our 4 main characters. First, as Hannah has mentioned, we have Spike Spiegel, who is the main character. They're all main characters, but arguably Spike is like one of the main center focuses of the Bebop crew. He was originally part of a crime syndicate for on Mars, I believe. Let me see. I forget the name of the crime syndicate, but
Red Dragon or something.
Something like that.
Something dark and edgy like that. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And it was through his work in the syndicate that he met and fell in love with a mysterious woman named Julia, who basically is like a constant flashback for him throughout the entire series. And of course his protege that he brought on, who would eventually betray him, named Vicious.
Mm-hmm. Vicious!
You should see yourself, Spike. You're like a wild beast. My God. Ay, caramba. But basically, he originally joined the Bebop crew after an invitation from the person who would originally form it. He basically just leave his past behind and just start something new for himself.
Yep.
But his past always comes back to haunt him, like through like the different things that are happening with the syndicate that always draw him back in because of his ties to both Vicious and Julia. With Vicious, it's like something that he basically has to confront. It's not something he can run away from. Basically. From there, we go to the captain of the Bebop crew, Jet Black. I love Jet. Jet is awesome. A former police officer, who luck brought down upon him after an incident took away one of his arms, and he had to replace it with a mechanical one. He basically quit the international police organization that he was a part of to become a bounty hunter and form the Bebop crew, which he originally hired on Spike. And it was basically just the both of them at the start of it until more people got added on.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on Jet?
Jet? He was a little bit more two-dimensional than I would have liked. But like basically the gruff dad character, basically. Keeping everybody in line and stuff. You need to have someone who's reasonable as part of your crew.
Yeah, he plays the straight man. He is a fantastic straight man.
Yep.
I think one of the best, he doesn't get as many moments to shine as some of the other people on the crew.
Yeah.
Especially Spike and Faye.
Yeah.
But
a lot of his how every once in a while one of the characters would have sort of their own episode where they were doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And I found that a lot of the time, the ones that were about Jet, I found myself kind of confused, or I didn't quite know why it was going on. Like that one where there was that girl who had the spirit board or whatever.
Oh yeah, that was a weird one.
I did not understand that one. I was kind of like, wait, what? It was a little bit odd. I did enjoy the episode about the prison ship and the guy who had taken his arm originally.
That in my opinion, I think is the best Jet episode. That is probably the best one.
Just beat down, drag out, fist fight at the end. People getting stabbed.
That is a perfect that is a perfect neo-noir detective story, that episode.
Was that the one where he was where it started? Yeah, every time he was narrating something, I felt like I was watching a Humphrey Bogart movie.
Okay, I have a question.
I was leery to say the least.
Okay, I have one question on that. You saw did you see the anime in the English dub?
Yes, I did.
Okay, first of all, congratulations. You picked the right one for that.
Thank you.
So, we'll get onto that. But the English voice actor for Jet, Bo Billingsley, he has a very great voice. Very very soft-spoken, but very deep and very relaxing most of the time. Even his most threatening moments. But when he gets serious, he has got a fire inside of him.
What was it? His story that he told in the last episode about the guy out on the Sahara.
Yeah.
Who lost his leg or whatever. Just for many reasons that scene just killed me. He's telling this story and then he's like, I hate that story. Oh yeah. It's just one of those things where he tells it and then he's like, man, I wish that story wasn't relevant to me. I hate that story. I wish that it didn't make sense right now to tell that story.
Yeah,
it sucks so much.
Yeah, but the way he tells it, oh my god, I love that voice. I have a very soft spot in my heart for Jet. He doesn't get as many times to shine as some of the other people on the Bebop crew, like I said, but he he's a constant
State of the
fixture.
straight man often.
He's a great straight man, and he's a constant fixture for, like, everyone. Like you said, he's basically like the disgruntled dad of the entire crew.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
bonsai trees.
Yeah, minding his own business, watering.
It's basically the space equivalent of saying, like, I just want to sit here and feed my birds.
And then when he's high off his ass, like during the mushroom episode, he's talking to them all, figuring out the secrets of the universe.
I love it. I loved that episode, actually. The one about the mushrooms.
That one was funny.
Where they all were like, oh, what was it? Faye had this hallucination that she was like that the toilet was really, really big and she was swimming in it, and Spike's
just constantly going up.
Seeing the stairs, the like stairway to heaven, where it stretched out in front of him like all the way, but he was just like like rocking back and forth on one step.
And then apparently he had like some kind of like a coyote spirit guide to guide him the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that episode was so much fun. And
so weird, yeah.
So moving on from Jet, we have, in my opinion, probably like one of the more fascinating characters on the Bebop crew, one Miss Faye Valentine.
Yeah.
Easily the femme fatale.
Femme fatale.
I think she would easily fit that archetype. So Faye has a string of bad fortune and bad luck that follows her, but plays into like her history. So she was involved in an accident early on in her life that basically caused her to become part of a cryogenic freezing experiment. So she is in terms of age, like physical age, she is the oldest out of everyone in the crew, but she looks like she's in her mid to late 20s though.
Yep.
So, and she doesn't know anything about her past. She doesn't remember any of it. So it's like,
yeah.
She's trying to run towards like finding the truth about her past through everything that has happened.
Oh yeah, and there's an episode where like a package gets sent to her from like, it was like herself 10 years in the past, sent a videotape. It was like, just so you remember what it was like 10 years ago. And it's like, she's this like adorable little kid.
That broke my heart.
And stuff, and they're just watching this video of her, and she's like, and it's like, I have no memory of this place, like of being that carefree and hopeful and joyful and just without any burdens or debts, you know. Oh, like what she talked about, she's like the one where she tried to infiltrate that cult.
Oh yeah.
Like, well, joining this cult because I've got so much debt. And I'm like, I feel you.
Oh, damn.
Oh, man. Where you're like, yeah, maybe I'll just go and live in a monastery so I won't have to pay any bills. You know?
Yep.
True feelings.
But yeah, she's the most distant out of the entire crew just because, like, she has the most trust issues just because of, like, her past.
Yeah, well, yeah, the first person she sees when she wakes up is like, ends up being a con artist.
Yeah. Which she didn't find out until many years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking on her. She was in cryo sleep for 54 years. So she went on, so the series takes place in about 2070. Oh my god, she probably went in cryo sleep around this time.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Because the series takes place in 2074.
Right, yeah.
Around that time, apparently, we'll be cultivating, like, civilizations on Mars.
Nice.
Unbelievable. Unreal. Unthinkable. Unfathomable. But anyway, well, let's not beat around the bush. Like, I just gotta say, Faye Valentine, beautiful. Remarkable. Love her. Like, and she is basically the definition of a femme fatale. She knows that she's hot shit, and she will use everything to her advantage to get what she wants.
Yep, basically.
And I love characters that are all about that. Legitimately.
Well, yeah. I also like that like she has her her skills, but she also has her flaws, like her gambling habit. She just run off and go and gamble when she makes some money.
Every single time.
Every single time. It's so real though, because you're like, oh my gosh, I have so many debts. Like, well, just gonna go to Potawatomi.
When the going gets tough, you just gotta bet it all, baby.
Yup.
Oh
man,
taking this bitch to Space Vegas.
Yeah. But
oh, beautiful. And then from there, oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I forgot. I forgot what we were talking about. We're talking about characters.
Right. And then from there, we go to the fourth member of the Bebop crew, which was the latest one to join. The child hacker prodigy, Edward. Edward with a long... Hold on. I have the name right in front of me. I'm going to say this name. I'm going to say this name in full. Edward Wong Hao Pepelu Tivruski.
Nice. Radical Edward.
One of the most fun characters in anime. Oh my god,
such a goof.
Oh,
I love it.
She brings a much needed just over the top wildlike charm and bit of comedy to the Bebop crew, but also a childlike innocence as well.
Yeah.
She's just so enthusiastic all the time. She is always on high energy.
Yeah.
She has no chill. There is no chill. Like whether it be from like over hacking and everything like that, or staying up for days on end to play a virtual chess match, to rubbing up on Faye's leg when, okay, first of all, Jesus, Ed, you need to calm down. Calm down. Down, Ed. Down.
So weird. I like what was it where she's like, where like Faye is watching the videotape again, looking for memories, like looking for like hints to her past and stuff, and she's sitting there watching it, and it cuts away.
Yeah,
it cuts away from the tape, and Edward's just like right there next to her. She's like, "Wow, when did you get here?"
That was so good. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, just weird. The kid cannot move in a normal way. She's just like
I think
like it's like she's made out of rubber.
Like, and going back to the episode Mushroom Samba, oh my god. An adventure with Ed and Ein as they're trying to take out a bounty while two other bounty hunters are also looking for the same guy. Oh, Jesus, that was hilarious.
Yeah, they just sent her to go and find food, right?
Well, yeah, they sent her to go find food.
She got the psychedelic mushrooms and gave them to the whole crew.
and then just to figure it out, and then all that happened. It was hilarious. And then they complained that they got too many mushrooms that are not psychedelic, and they don't want to eat mushrooms anymore. But it's like, guys, you have food. Be grateful that you have food.
Yeah.
But we don't really get too many like singular episodes with Ed has a lot of standout moments though.
Yeah.
Like that makes her such a cherished part of the Bebop crew. And it's through Ed's interactions with all the various members of the crew that like her childlike view on so many different situations, and just her upbeat nature that just makes her so endearing.
Yeah. Just she talks in such a weird way too. It's funny.
Oh, it's
Feifei. Where she's like refers to herself in the
Edward.
In the third, is it in the third person when you talk about?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's I, you, Steve. Yeah. So yeah, just like Edward can do it.
Oh.
Or like when the kids at the junkyard that she knows find her, and they're like, we found Edward, and she's like, so Edward is found. Oh man, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I've actually incorporated some of those mannerisms into just like my stupid like day-to-day Donald, what the hell did you just say moments.
Yeah.
People look at me like, Donald, are you okay?
Oh man. Let's talk about some let's talk about the music references.
Oh
I
my,
think this
oh
I think this is what made me think of Supernatural, is because they do kind of the same thing. Like they like classic rock is a big part of it, and a lot of the episodes have like Led Zeppelin songs as the title. Like there's an episode called When the Levee Breaks. There's an episode called Sympathy for the Devil, which is Rolling Stones
oh yeah.
song. Like so I knew going in that Cowboy Bebop had like references to music
Oh,
in
that
like each episode thing, like yeah, like Mushroom Samba and what was it, Honky Tonk Woman and stuff like that. But then there were also songs that were episode titles that were the titles of songs, like Bohemian Rhapsody or Toys in the Attic,
yep.
stuff like that. I love that. I just think that's really cool.
Part of the reason like behind all those choices that actually comes down to the director of the show, Shinichiro Watanabe.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout all of his works, which mainly started and was more heavily shown in Bebop, is that he incorporates so many different genres and styles and influences into his works. And we see that all throughout the different show. Like, there will be some episodes where it's centered around, like, blues-style music and 1960s, 1970s, like, jazz culture. You'll have, like, heavy metal, like, style music for the Heavy Metal Queen episode. Then you'll have, like, a more haunting, eerie horror aesthetic from, like, the Toys in the Attic thing. And it part of it comes down to his belief in music. He believes personally that music is the universal language. And because of like the jazz, he actually titled Bebop after the jazz movements, like in the early 1950s, 1940s, which was his initial reasoning behind naming the title of the show, Bebop.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the musical like references and everything like that actually was literal when it came down to the director because of Watanabe's influences.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so interesting, like looking at that through the lens, like not through my lens, but for someone like you who has seen it for the first time and notices all this.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in terms of like a personal favorite, like one of your two, like what are some of your personal favorite stories, like from Bebop? Because one of the advantages of this show is like there is like an overarching like plot with like Spike and the Red Dragon stuff, but you can look at a singular episode of like Bebop, not knowing anything about like the characters and things like that, and you can just pick it up like that almost every single time.
Okay. I will. Okay. Well, obviously, I liked the Ballad of Fallen Angels because then I was sort of like, now I see what's going on.
Absolutely.
Like what sort of like I was like, okay, now I see what the overarching thing is, because it had been sort of more episodic for a while, where it was just like a sitcom where it's like, oh, here we go, we're looking for this bounty, and then oh well, we didn't get it. I guess we go back to being poor, looking for work.
Hey ho, amigos! Hey now, howdy, all you bounty hunters out there among the stars.
Oh gosh, that annoyed me so much. That television program. I was like, what the hell? And like that.
And then like one of the penultimate. And then
I'm like, how do her clothes stay on her? Like.
And then in one of the penultimate episodes, it ultimately gets canceled, and then she just utterly breaks character.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's not like hi anymore. She was
what?
Yep.
Oh, it was so good.
Oh man, I love it. But yeah, Ballad of Fallen Angels. I loved that one. And just like, I don't know. I was trying to figure out. I think maybe. I think maybe just because I. I think maybe just because I've been learning jujitsu recently. Um, but I like was really fascinated by a lot of the like fight sequences and stuff, especially since a lot of it um like a lot of the stuff that Spike does is more like evasion and redirecting stuff and everything. Like he's just like for to all appearances just kind of standing there and like sort of drifting around, you know, like minimal effort, sort of
And,
just so fucking casual, you know.
yeah, they actually touch upon that in like one of the
Like the
earlier
water.
episodes, didn't they?
Like the water. Yeah,
Yeah,
moving like water.
yeah, they actually touched upon that. It was like he was like teaching somebody like like certain moves at like one point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I do remember that.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite earlier episodes was Symphony for the Devil. It was the one about the it was one about the little kid that they find in the jazz club with the harmonica.
Oh yes, I love that one.
That one was that one is one of my favorites.
Oh,
I
so good.
I love that episode.
I just love creepy kids in shows. Like
And also
creepy little kids.
and also big shout out to like the kid who played the woman the voice actress who played the kid in that episode. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
god. I think it was Barbara Goodson.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm almost certain that's who played it. I can look it up, but
Mm-hmm.
let me see.
Mm-hmm.
But but moving on from that, yeah, like so many great points. So much great stuff to come from this episode.
Mm-hmm. Of course, I love the "Don't leave things in the fridge" episode.
Nice.
It's a good life lesson for all of us. Um, the episode 20, Pierre LeFou.
Oh my god, yes.
It amused me no end. Some I hate theme parks. Not really. I just the aesthetic of them. It's just loud and dirty and like I just don't like theme parks.
Oh, okay.
Um
Okay, note to self. Never take you to Six
and
Flags.
Yeah. So I love the like last line in that was, "This is why I hate theme parks." I'm like, amen. Yeah, nothing like a random fight to the death with the penguin in a condemned carnival. Like it was such a trip.
Indeed.
Oh man. And it was like the guy just wanted to kill him because he just happened to be there. Like he just wandered out of the billiard hall out onto the street and saw this guy who had just murdered a bunch of people. And then they just start going at it and he's like trying to blow him up and stuff. It's just so random. It's like, well, he's that kind of insane you just can't argue with.
Indeed.
And then the guy sends him an invitation to fight him again, and he's like, "Well, here I go.
Yep, he's like,
I
well,
go do this. This guy kicked my ass, and I cannot let that stand."
indeed. Okay, all right, that's what it was. I always keep getting it was Mona Marshall who voiced the character Wen in the Symphony for the Devil episode. She's done a lot of like early voice work, especially in works like Digimon and the like.
Okay.
I always get her and Barbara Goodson like mixed up on some voices sometimes, every single time.
Yeah.
Me being a voice actor nut.
Yeah.
The Perot the Heavy Metal Queen episode is actually very endearing to me. I love
yeah.
I love I love the character of CT? Was it CT? VT?
VT.
It was VT. Okay. Like I love I love that character. She's so fun. The heavy
I actually didn't realize that she was a woman for a while.
Truckers in space.
Yep.
I think that's also part of the magic that comes with like Cowboy Bebop and like all these side episodes. Like you meet all of these like one-off characters that are just they reel you in on their only appearance and they make you love them. Mm-hmm. And there's not a single episode like that misses. Mm-hmm. I can't think of a single episode where that concept misses. Even in the very first episode, Asteroid Blues, like the main targets that we're going across, like they're like the woman who is like with the bounty target is you sympathize with her so much. Mm-hmm. Because all she wants is to go out further into the stars. That's all she wanted. Mm-hmm. She wanted freedom. That's all she needed. Adios, cowboy.
Adios. Yep.
Oh my god, that gets my heart. That is a great opening episode.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And okay, so there's two things we haven't talked about yet on this. We talked about the musical influence. Let's talk about the music all throughout this series.
Uh-huh.
Like we said, like I said, the music for this series varies depending on the episode. Like there'll be like different like jazz interpretations for one, or metal or rock in another. But I do want to spotlight the main composer for the series, which is the legendary Yoko Kanno. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with the composer Yoko Kanno is one of my favorite composers in anime. She has done numerous different anime series that have been anime and video games that have produced enormous great soundtracks, such as both Cowboy Bebop, Escaflowne, Darker Than Black, Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, which we have talked about here on the podcast, as well as many more, and influencing and composing for different pop artists such as Maya Sakamoto, who sings many different themes for anime as well as the Fate series. Mm-hmm. So suffice it to say, I love Yoko Kanno's work. And the opening for this series, Tank, I believe was also composed by her, is a fantastic opening theme.
Yeah. Oh, love it.
There's no other opening theme in anime that I can really compare to Tank.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I love it. Yeah, even though I could have skipped it, I watched it every time.
Oh, the Cowboy Bebop opening theme is a theme that you do not skip.
It's like skip the preview. Nah.
Nah, fam.
Nah, I wanna jam.
Yep, the song was composed by Yoko Kanno and was performed by the Seatbelts. Yeah, okay. So she did influence the opening.
Yeah.
And then another thing I want to touch on is the animation style.
Okay.
So this is a very old this is an older animation style, and a thing that I think is of note to this, Cowboy Bebop was one of the last animated series to use animation cells. Are you familiar with what animation cells?
Yeah.
All right, this is something we actually haven't talked about on the podcast. So
Go ahead. You will explain it better.
Okay. So
I don't know what they're called. I don't know the terms. I'm just familiar with.
So before the time of digital animation, where everything was basically done via computers, and you can actually do work a little bit better compared to things. To do animation, and these go all the way back to the earliest days of animation. We're talking like early Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry era.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The times of traditional animation, where you basically have to draw each and every single frame by hand. this includes character movement, background, and everything in between.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of animation cells alone that you would need for, like, so many different animes, even for some that are more, like, static and mainly just standing there, it would still take a couple of them because you also have to animate, draw and animate in, like, lip flaps for characters talking.
Yeah.
And also for animation that has, like, more fluidness to it, especially when it comes to like changing landscapes on the fly. Like, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work. And this was one of the last series that primarily focused on that style before 3D animation would start to be incorporated more into, like, all different forms of animation, not just Japanese anime. And that goes into all 26 episodes of Bebop and the movie.
Yeah. I actually didn't see the movie. I could not find a way to watch it.
That's perfectly fine. We're focusing mainly on the episodes, so that's perfectly
so
okay.
bummed.
No, it's okay. You saw.
I finished the show and then I was like, huh, well, it's done. And I was like, wait a minute, there's a movie? What? And there was like a 10-minute, like, a frantic internet search. And I was like, curses!
We might have to find the movie and have to make that like a reaction thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
Like, we'll plan that. We'll plan that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I really wanted to highlight because I know a lot of people, like, when they see Bebop, and it's like the general thing is like, oh, the music is great and the style, the action, everything like that. I wanted to focus on that no fact because I don't think that's actually talked about more than most times. Is like the process of the animation, how it was one of the last series to use animation cell art.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Does the appreciation heighten a little bit for the show?
Yeah, that it was every cell was using animation cells. Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Especially,
good.
I love the sort of erratic style of the camera at times as well. Camera in quotations, where it's like it'll be focused on something and then it'll flash to something else and then back to something else, and kind of like that scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail where Lancelot is running toward the castle and it keeps cutting back to the guards watching while he's running.
Yep.
Kind of like that.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And yeah, I really like that because it has sort of a scrappy freestyle improv kind of feel to it, just with the like the way that they work, their line of work, like the freelancing, like the way that Spike fights, like it's almost an accident when he punches somebody, you know, like it all sort of makes a lot more sense actually when you think about the fact that every cell was done by hand, you know. It's kind of like oh yeah, you know, like this world, you can tell people live in the world, like the ship, you can tell that people live there, like people leave things to rot in the fridge, like that never happened in Star Trek that I'm aware of, you know.
And part of that comes down to like how the series was initially produced, because what director Shinichiro Watanabe sensei always does with all of his works, he gives everything a very cinematic feel to it. Because you compare the series that to other series that were being like showcased at the time in Japan and everything like that. Like you have your Dragon Balls and your Sailor Moon series and everything like that. A lot of them have a little bit more of like your like generic everyday like kind of animation. Still great for its time, but also like a lot of different static moments and everything like that. And then you compare it to Bebop, which has more fluidity and motion to it, and you would not see that kind of animation at that time unless it came from a very high production animated film.
Yeah.
So I just got to say, damn, kudos. Just kudos.
Yeah.
And this was Watanabe's first solo directed project. And he would go on to direct other anime series as well, also taking like the multiple different inspirations of like different genres. Like if I remember correctly, the series that followed up Bebop that he was working on, Samurai Champloo, it was set in the time of samurai in Japan, but you also have influences of modern day street culture and hip hop.
Ooh.
That's a series I would really love to talk about in the future.
Yeah.
Because I think you would get a kick out of like how wild that one is, and you can kind of see like Watanabe's overall influences over all of his works and his trademark signature style.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much fun.
Well, that's awesome.
But in summation Hannah, do you want to wrap up Bebop in just like a quick summation in your view?
Of course. I don't know what to say.
Take it away.
Okay.
Okay. Just let the raw emotion just take you in the moment.
All right. Well, if you watch this show, as Faye says, it's gonna cost you. You're gonna find the part of you lost along the way. I think, yeah, you're not gonna do what you do anymore in a safe way. You know, you have to like create new dreams and films by breaking traditional styles. You know, I'm just so sick of this conventional fixed style jazz. We got to play without fear of risky things. And I'm literally just reading things in my notes that I didn't get to. So that's perfectly fine. Anything, any other things you want to throw on in? Yeah. He's a 7-foot tall ex-basketball pro, Hindu guru, drag queen alien.
What the? I love the English dub for this show so much. Like, that's actually another thing we never even talked about. You said you originally watched this in English dub, and I applauded you for it.
Yes, I did. Yes.
Mainly because, like, there is a giant stigma in the anime watching community, like dubs versus subs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a constant divide because some people who will watch Japanese and will only watch it in Japanese with English subtitles says you cannot like change like the original, even though like dub watchers, and myself included, were a little bit more like lenient to it. We love both of them, but even the most hard pressed of Japanese anime watchers that will only watch it in the original context will say Cowboy Bebop probably has one of the best English dubs of anime.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
From performance to voice direction, everything it's damn near perfect.
Yeah. All right. Well, what I'm gonna end with is, where did it go? Dramatic pause. See you, space cowboy. Bang.
Yes. And we're not going to spoil the ending for you guys that have not seen it, but we will just say don't worry, but the ending for each episode literally ends with
so mad.
Oh yeah.
Why?
maybe
it's like it couldn't have been any other way, but why? You're like, it's like, what do you wish that he had done something else?
Maybe
he just walked away. Would it have been better? And I'm like, no, because that's not him.
Hannah,
this is the only way it was going to happen.
Indeed. We'll talk about the ending of Cowboy Bebop on like a special thing. We might just make that a Patreon special.
Oh gosh, yes.
So if you guys want to hear our thoughts on the ending of the series, you can pledge to our Patreon and listen to our thoughts on that.
Yep.
That post will be released on the same day this episode goes live to all of our regular viewers on Fridays. So
it's gonna cost you.
We'll link it in the description below for all of our patrons. So if you want to hear our thoughts on it, definitely go check that out. But in summation, Cowboy Bebop is an amazing, amazing series. One series that I personally believe everyone should watch. Mm-hmm. It is a perfect gateway anime for those that don't know anime and are trying to find a foothold into it to watch some. Bebop is a perfect gateway. You don't have to commit to like a long narrative story arc like you would for shonen anime like Dragon Ball or Naruto or anything like that. There are many different standalone episodes that you can pick one out of and you can still love, and there's not too much of an overarching story plot. It's a character-driven piece. Mm-hmm. And the four main characters that we have are great. It's a perfect character-driven show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And one that I highly recommend and hold high in the pantheon of great anime. Mm-hmm. And I'm not the only one that believes in that. There's 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes for this series.
That's insane. I thought that was impossible.
It's not impossible, but I mean...
just improbable. Exactly.
So if you guys want to definitely check this series out, I highly recommend it. The series is currently licensed by Funimation Entertainment, where you can buy the DVDs and Blu-rays from them. We are not endorsed by Funimation. I just thought you guys would like to know that. And you guys can check the series out on Funimation's website, and I believe it's also on Hulu, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Hannah?
That's where I watched it.
Yep, and it's also on Hulu.
So I assume it's there.
Yep.
Otherwise, what was I doing?
Fair enough. So yeah, you can go check out those streaming services to watch Cowboy Bebop, or if you want to buy the physical copies for yourself, which I recommend you do if you want to support the anime industry, definitely go ahead and do that. So thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the General Geekery podcast. And if you guys loved what you were listening to today, make sure to follow us and give us shout out wherever podcasts can be found. We are on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, and if you don't have access to any of those podcasting services, you can check us out on my personal YouTube channel at Anime Rev Productions. That is youtube.com/Anime Rev Productions. And if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Instagram at General Geekery and on Twitter and Facebook at Gen Geek Podcast. And like I said earlier, if you guys want to pledge to our Patreon for some exclusive rewards, we are on patreon.com/General Geekery. That is patreon.com/General Geekery. Links of all which will be in the description of this episode. Hannah, where can they check you out at?
Well, you can find me rolling dice with my party every Monday at 7:30 Central on twitch.tv/Loaded Dice Adventures. I play Petra, the Dragonborn Ranger Rogue. She's pretty handy with a bow and arrow, and fueled by her love for whiskey. And you can also, if you feel so inclined, follow me on Instagram at Pythian Legume, though I rarely do anything on there, so you can follow me, but you won't see much.
Check out her art. Her art is fantastic.
Yeah, there's some art on there. It's pretty good. It's decent.
Contact her. Get some art from her. Her art is fantastic.
Yes, I am a starving freelancer in space, and I need those woolongs. So
she needs them bell peppers and beef, y'all.
Yes, I can't not have beef in my bell peppers and beef.
That's true.
That's not bell peppers and beef.
That's true. Just bell peppers and beef without the beef.
Yeah, what is that? It's just crap.
Well, I mean, bell peppers are delicious. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Anyway, moving on. If you guys want to check me if you guys want to check me out, if you guys want to check me out on social media, I am on Twitter and Instagram at RyuzakiMK7, and you can check me out on Twitch.tv at RyuzakiMK7 as well. I play a majority of different games. A lot of them are RPG based, but I have been mixing it up a lot lately, and I love enjoying talking in my chat room and just overall hanging out. So come on by and check us out. Also, a couple of quick announcements before we get started. First of all, this upcoming Sunday, when this podcast is being released, April 18th, I believe. Is that when we decided to do the next?
18th.
18th?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We'll be stream episode 3 of our Inepticon series with Hannah Kubiak.
Woo!
If you guys want to see Hannah play some video games for the first time, definitely come check us out on Sunday, April 18th, at twitch.tv/RyuzakiMK7 for the next episode of Inepticon. It's going to be something anime related to keep with the Anime April theme. What it is, we will find out at that time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's hilarious how good at video games you can be if you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Indeed.
Oh,
and also, I think we said we were going to be taking next week off for episode, right?
Yes, because we're doing Inepticon, and then we're also doing our live recording for the
live recording for
Listener's Choice anime for the end of the month. Which do we know what that's going to be yet? Are all the votes in?
The votes will be finalized on the Friday that this poll is ended. So the Friday, so this upcoming Friday when this episode is released, the poll will be decided, and it's looking pretty close right now. It's looking pretty close.
My pick is down there at the bottom too, just like yours, Donald.
Oh man, that's rough.
Seems like our viewers or listeners want us to talk about something.
Don't worry. We'll talk about those anime another day. We're not just always restricted to Anime April, so you know what? We might as well. We'll do another anime thing, but maybe.
Anime August.
well, maybe another anime month. Who knows? We'll figure it out.
Manga May.
Oh, that'll be fun. So yeah. There will not be another new episode next week, guys, just because we're in the middle of doing something. That being, me and Hannah are going to be co-hosting Actually, Hannah, do you want to take the reins on this since you are technically a part of this organization, actually?
Oh, yes. So VFR, next weekend when this episode releases, will be VFR's New Works Festival. So basically, it's a virtual event where different playwrights and authors and poets have contributed some of their work that they've been working on during the pandemic. And we've also got some actors who are going to do live virtual readings of these new works. And we are also using this this time to do some free advertising for some local Milwaukee restaurants since they've been struggling right now. So think of the food makers when you come and watch. It'll be on the Voices Found Twitch channel. If you go into Twitch and just type in Voices Found Rep, you will find it. And it's going to be, well, we'll put it in the socials because you're not going to remember it when you hear it from me right now.
Don't worry, I'll make it separate. I'll isolate this audio for the socials, and also a part of that, yours truly, myself and Hannah will be co-hosting the event live. Yep. So if you guys love our antics here on General Geekery and you want to spend a Saturday night watching some awesome theater with some new works from some local artists and want to support local businesses in the Milwaukee area, definitely go check that out. That is going to be on Saturday, April 24th at 7 p.m. Central for start time on that. Mm-hmm. At Voices Found at twitch.tv/Voices Found. Rep, the description of that and the date and the time will be in the description for this episode. So please go check that out and support us and just come say hi if you so choose. We appreciate the support. And also our final edition of Anime April, like Hannah said, we are going to be doing a live episode on twitch.tv/RyuzakiMK7 Friday, April 30th. We're going to be doing it in the evening, so I will be revealing next week what the viewers' choice anime will be on my Twitch on that Friday night while I'm streaming. So definitely tune in for the final results on that. And we will be recording that Friday night on Friday night, April 30th. And the audio version of that podcast I will try to get uploaded that the Saturday or Sunday of that weekend. So we're changing it up a little bit on that just to see how everything goes.
Ooh,
So,
yeah.
and if you guys want to influence what is voting right now, we will have the vote, the poll in the description below for this episode, and definitely go check out those choices. And if there's one on there that piques your fancy, you guys want us to talk about, leave a vote. We appreciate it. Wow, we got through. That was a lot of stuff that we did at the end there,
Yeah.
but we had a lot of stuff to talk about, but I'm glad we talked about it, and I'm glad we got to talk about, in my opinion, a show that deserves all of the praise that it gets. So this was a lot of fun. Hannah, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for choosing this anime, because
you're welcome.
Because I think I've wanted to talk about it for a while, but I didn't really want to just throw it in for Anime April, but I'm glad you chose it. I am certainly glad that you chose it. So, arigato gozaimasu.
どういたしました right? No.
I believe so.
How do you say you're welcome? どういたしました
So, guys, thank you so much for listening. This has been episode 76, I want to say. I have the listing right here.
76.
Yep, this has been episode 76 of the General Geekery podcast, Anime April 2021, Cowboy Bebop. For Hannah Kubiak, I'm Donald Gazinski. And, Hannah, do you want to take it out this time? I got the clink clink on. I got the clink clink on standby.
Yeah.
I came prepared.
All right. Well, I guess all I have to say is, see you, space cowboy. Clink clink.
Bang.
A shot glass and a candle today.
I got a soda can in my water bottle.
I could tell it was like made of aluminum.
Bye, guys.
Bye.